Hello friends, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you how you can draw a castle's tower in the style that you look here. Not too long ago I went to Disney World and I saw this castle that I took a picture of, and I really liked the conical shaped towers that this castle has. And it's really characteristic in specific kinds of castles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do that in AutoCAD in 3D mode. So the first thing is to change to 3D mode, so select on the wheel here and then select 3D modeling. Once you have done that, we're going to create a 3D cylinder. So I click on cylinder, select here, it's going to be 100 units of radius. I'm going to use my orbit command here so I can spin, and then I'm going to click on 50 units of height, okay, and I get my cylinder. I also want to switch from 3D wireframe view style to the conceptual view style. Once I have that done, I'm gonna go here where it says solid, and I'm gonna go where it says tamper faces. So I click on that, okay, and I'm gonna select this face on my cylinder, press enter. The next screen is asking me for a base point, so I'm gonna orbit because I want to select the center of the cylinder that is on the bottom, right? So I'm gonna go here, orbit, and make sure that I'm selecting the one here. This is the top and this is the border, so I'm gonna from bottom, and then I'm gonna go here to the top, okay, and then I'm gonna select an angle of 40 degrees. I press enter, and that's it. Press enter again and enter again to exit the command. So as you see that I have this angled cone now that I'm gonna use for the base of the top of my column. So the next step is to put a cone on top of this to complete the top of our tower. So I'm gonna go here to the home tab and then click where it says cone, and this is the time when you may wish to change just for a minute from conceptual to wireframe, because it will make things much easier. So and I have to call my cone again, and I want to go from the center of this, you see here, and to the edge of the circle, the smaller circle. So I'm going to shift right click to select the object snap that is called quadrant, and then I can just snap it there. And then I'm going to go up, I'm going to zoom out here, I'm going up, okay. So this is to your discretion. I'm just going to leave it like this, and that's it. Now we can switch back to conceptual, and you see that we have created the top of the tower in this kind of conical hat style. Next, I brought the picture again. I think I'm gonna be doing this tower here, simple one, and once we do that, that could be a template to create the other ones. I'm not sure if I'm gonna create the entire castle. It will depend on how much time I have, but maybe slowly in different videos I will try to do so. So that being said, what we need to do now here is the cylinder that goes at the bottom. So we're going to create the cylinder on the bottom here. So what I'm going to do is call my orbit command again, or actually I can just click here on bottom, and what I'm going to do is change from cone to cylinder, and I'm going to go here to the center. Okay, sometimes I have to hover here, and now this is to your discretion. I will create, maybe this is 100, so I may go for 90, okay, or 80. Let's put 80. Let's put 80. So I put 80, enter, okay, and then I have to switch perspective with the orbit command again. I'm gonna zoom out, okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down, and let's go down maybe 400 units, or maybe let's see, maybe even 300. Yeah, 300 is fine. Now let's do 400, enter, okay. And once that is done, you see I have the cylinder here. The next step is I want the cylinder to be empty. So what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna go back to the bottom, and I'm gonna go to cylinder, and I'm gonna go back to the center of the cylinder, okay, and I'm gonna create one that it's maybe the previous one was 80, so I'm gonna create one that it's maybe 70, okay, radius, and then the bottom, okay, is also gonna be 400. So we're gonna put 400. Now I can't see what I'm doing really because I'm in the same layer, but so what you want to do is go here, layer properties, create new layer, okay, and start creating layers. So this is gonna be let's see, tower wall, okay, and I'm gonna put here the color red, click OK. Now I'm gonna click on the inner tower and I'm gonna move that to the red layer, okay. So now you know they have different colors. My next move is I want to remove the inner from the outer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go where it says intersection here, or solid subtract, sorry, and then I select the outer first, enter, and then the inner, enter, and now I have a perfect hole, okay, in my tower. Next I want to be consistent, so I'm gonna move this cylinder to the tower wall layer, okay. And once I have done that, the next step will be to create the windows for this tower. Next we're gonna work on the windows. So as you can see from the drawing, there are different styles of windows that we can make. We can make these tiny windows here that are really rectangular, or we can create these ones that are longer rectangles, you know, or we can create ones that have, like, you know, an arch on top, or ones that look just like a slit. So it's different options we have here. I'm just gonna create one type and then maybe a second one so we can use in different towers. So the important thing now is that since I am practically done with this section, I'm gonna copy paste this. So I'm gonna select everything, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'm gonna leave this guy here for later use. So if I want to add a different style of windows, then I have this guy here, and it's easier for me to do it later on. So to start working on the windows, I want to change my coordinate system, because if I click here, okay, on the back, you see that this I will need to work on this perspective to make the windows kind of proportional. So what I do is I'm gonna go ahead and click with this command, you know, that says view, okay, and I'm gonna click on the first option that says that aligns my current view with to the UCL, or the UCL to the current view, and that's it. Okay, now the X, Y, and Z coordinates match this, so this is the top view. So here I can start working with my line command, and I'm gonna zoom a little bit so it's easy for me to see the proportion here. So L, enter, and I'm gonna start, I'm gonna see if I can align to the grid, and I'm gonna go here and let's make it, I could do like small ones, so maybe 70. Yeah, 70 is fine. So 70, enter, and then I'm gonna make like small ones, small slits, so maybe 70 by, let's see, 70 by 30, okay, and then here 70, and then I'm gonna connect this here, enter. And the thing is that now I need this to be 3D, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna offset, okay, let's offset by 5 units, okay, and 5, enter, then I click here, and I'm gonna offset it this way, click here, and then click again here, click here, and then click here, click on this line, and then inside the line, okay. And now what I could do is I could trim, okay, trim, and then I select everything, enter, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see this, and just clicking on those lines that I want gone, okay, enter. And next thing I want to do is join, because these are different lines, and I actually could have started with a polyline from the beginning, but it's easier for me this way. Select everything, enter, and now this is a single, you know, polyline, actually 2 different polylines. Next I need to make these polylines 3D, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click where it says here the command press pull, and I'm gonna select here in the middle, and now I'm gonna change perspectives here so you can see it in 3D. and I'm gonna go up maybe, I'll say 10 units. Let me change perspective here a little bit more. So let's see, yeah, I think 10 units is good. Then enter. Okay, and another thing I need to do, it's because I may want to have a material applied or having a window here, right, a glass. So what I need to do, and I'm also gonna need that to make a hole in this cylinder. So I'm gonna need to create, I'm gonna click here, I'm gonna create a box, and the box is gonna be from this edge, okay, to this edge, and I'm gonna go up maybe, and you know what, it's gonna be more difficult doing it this side, so I'm gonna switch sides. I'm gonna go to this side here, and I'm gonna do the box again. I'm gonna go from this edge to this edge, and I'm gonna go maybe just 5 units, 5, enter. Okay, and again, that's because later I want to press pull this out, or if I want to apply material here, I have the surface to do it. So this is the simplest of all kinds of windows that you can do, and what I'm gonna do, just because I want to have it, I'm gonna select it all, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and paste it. So again, if I want to use it later on, I have a copy that I can use. So next I need to align my new created window to the cylinder here, or the tower. So for that I'm going to just use the plain align command. The align command. I'm going to select both the frame and the inner box, press enter. It's asking me for a source point, so I'm going to shift right click. I'm going to select the midpoint, and I'm going to select this midpoint here. Now it's asking me for a destination point, and here I want to use shift right click quadrant, make sure that it's the front quadrant. Okay, and then it's asking me for second set of coordinates, but I'm just going to press enter, and that's it. And you see that now my window has been aligned here, and it's funny because the polylines have been left behind, but that's okay. Now as you can see, it may not be perfect depending on how far you want this to stick out, how far you want the window to stick out. For me, this is good enough, and I will show you how we're gonna perfect this. So if you really want to change how far the window comes out of the cylinder, all you have to do is select this, and then press shift here to select the window, and then click on this green arrow, and now you can pull this out or in whatever units you want. For me, I'm just gonna leave it like that because it kind of works for this example. So before I do anything else, I want to zoom out, because while I was doing this video, I noticed that these copy pastes that I created are kind of getting on the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move this out of the way as much as I can. Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way as much as I can. Oops, select green. A green selector would be good. Okay, and then move this out of the way. So I just noticed I don't really need this frame here on the back. You can leave it if you want it to have a frame also in the interior, but I realized we don't really need it, so I'm gonna ditch it. So I delete, and now I'm gonna select the window, and what I want to do is I want to move it up. So what I do is I click on the blue arrow, and I'm gonna move it up to a distance that I feel is good. I'm gonna leave it here, and that's it. Next, I'm gonna create another box here, like I did behind before I deleted it, so I can open a hole here. Now the only thing is that I have to change the coordinates to the view of the window. So for that, I'm just gonna go ahead and give me a right view. Okay, and then I'm gonna rotate this, and what I do is click again, same procedure, the UCS coordinate system, and that's it. Once that is done, what I want to do is I go ahead and create a box, and I'm gonna create it from box. I'm gonna create it from this corner to this corner. I want to change the angle to see what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm gonna pull it. Pull it in. I don't want to put it in too much, so let's sit here. So before I do that, I better use the wireframe. Okay, so it's kind of easier. So let's create a box here. do here, and then I put it this amount, okay. And then the last thing is I'm gonna select subtract. I select my cylinder first, enter, and then this box I created, enter, and that should have been taking care of my hole. So back to conceptual, and you see that I have a perfect hole in the window. Next, I may want to have this window out of the tower wall, because I may need to manipulate the windows only later on. So I'm gonna go to layer properties, I'm gonna create a new layer, I'm gonna put tower windows, okay, and I'm gonna change that to maybe something like blue. Click OK, and now I'm going to make that layer active, select this and switch it. So from now on we can have our windows in that layer. The next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this window around the tower. So for that we're going to use a polar array. You go over here where it says where is it, modify, and it should be listed here on the polar array. First step, select the window frame, press enter. The second step is you're gonna type A for axis of rotation, okay, and here I'm gonna rotate a little bit my image because I want the axis of rotation to be the center here of the cylinder, and it's asking me for a second angle of rotation, so I'm gonna select another center here, the center of this the top of the ceiling. And as you can see, it's creating 6 windows, additional windows. So if you want more or less, you can come here at the top. Let's say I want more, you can put 8, press tab, and you will see how it will look, okay. Or I can have less, maybe 3, okay, and see how it will look. So for now let's put 8, okay, and it's looking pretty good, and then press enter, okay. After that your array will be complete. You have to press enter a few times. Notice that there was a problem with the array. I spin it, and as you can see, it doesn't look like it's created the holes, so we're gonna have to create that manually. Before we can do that, we have to exploit or explode, I mean, or you know, convert this polar array into just normal objects. So for that, this is where layers are important. I can just go ahead, I'm gonna turn off the tower array layer, I mean, and now here I have my array. So I'm gonna go and explode, okay, explode, and I'm gonna select my array and press enter, and now this is just individual windows. And now I can go ahead and turn my tower window again, and now I'm ready to create the holes for each window. So I'm going to show you how you can do this process a little bit faster. You have to switch from conceptual, okay, to wireframe, and then, you know, have it in this perspective. So you want to have the series of windows here in this perspective, so you can see all of them. And once you have done, also realize that with the ones that had red means that the holes have been open already, but the ones that are blue means that the hole, like this one, means that they have no hole. So I want to create a hole for this one, so I need to align the coordinate system first. So I click here where it says coordinates, and then I'm going to click where it says face, and here on the face, okay, I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to click on again, this cylinder is getting on the way, so I'm going to turn off the cylinder, okay, and then I'm going to go here on the face and select this and this edge and click accept. And now what I can do is go ahead and create a box from here to here, and then put it out in this way. So you see, it's easier to create this box so it doesn't cut the whole cylinder and only a part of it. And once that is done, I'm gonna need to have my wall visible again, so I enable that layer, and then I click where it says subtract, and I'm gonna click the cylinder, enter, and then this box, enter, and now you see that this becomes red, meaning that there is a hole, and you can confirm that by just going to from mode wireframe to conceptual mode, okay, and then rotate here and see that there is a hole here in the window. So there you go, the tower is practically completed. You see all the windows are open. Well, it needs, maybe it's a base, but I'm gonna leave it like this for now. And of course we can add more, a different layer of windows if you want on the middle and bottom. But for now I'm gonna leave this video here, and in the next one we're gonna continue creating maybe another tower and then a connection or a wall connecting both towers. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and you know, keep looking for new videos that I will be posting soon. Thank you so much.